Sorry to keep you waiting. Complicated business.
Complicated. J.D. Vance. This guy turned out to be an absolute star. He's a great senator and a real fighter. He's a former Marine and a Yale-educated lawyer. He's a great student. J.D. knows how important it is to have leaders who put America first. He'll bring the toughness and intellectual firepower we need to champion our movement. He will fight for strong borders, fair trade, jobs, and he will be tough as you can be on crime. A truly MAGA all-star. Make America great again. He's an all-star.
So, Trump has made his VP pick. It is official. J.D. Vance is the official Trump VP pick. And I want to read this statement from Uncle Trump right here. So, here we have it. After lengthy deliberation and thought, and considering the tremendous talents of many others, I have decided that the person best suited to assume the position of Vice President of the United States is Senator J.D. Vance of the great state of Ohio. Let's go, baby. J.D. honorably served our country in the Marine Corps, graduated from Ohio, the Ohio State University in 2 years. All right. I got to talk a little trash, all right? Because I know everybody, we all have our favorite colleges and whatnot. And, okay, I just got to talk a little bit of trash, all right? I just wanted to interject and say that, all right? Because I know, all right? It's all love at the end of the day. It's all friendly, okay? Nothing too serious, nothing too over the top. It's just friendly banter, okay? Just want to make that clear. Also, in 2 years, summa cum laude, and is a Yale School graduate, where he was editor of the Yale Law Journal and president of the Yale Law Veterans Associate. JD's book, Hillbilly Elegy, became a major bestseller in movie as it is championed and hardworking men and women of this country. J.D. Vance has had a very successful business career in technology and finance, and now during the campaign will be strongly focused on the people he fought so brilliantly for, and the American workers and farmers in Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, Ohio, Minnesota, and far beyond. And listen, I want to say this, okay, before I say what it is that I'm going to say. I know some people are going to be disappointed in me. Some people may be in disagreements. And on this side of the political aisle, that is fine. That is A-okay. We are allowed to disagree on this side of the political aisle. Now, stick around, because I have a lot more to say. Okay? Y'all know. Anybody that's been watching for a while, okay? I got a lot more to say. But I will say this. J.D. Vance is not my pick. Am I disappointed? Yes. Yeah. Not my pick. Could I be completely wrong? Absolutely. I'm not one of these folks who get on camera or get on social media and think that they're absolutely right on everything it is that they have to say. I acknowledge I could be completely wrong. I just want to put that on Front Street. I want to put that on videotape. I could be wrong, and I acknowledge that. I will accept that if I am wrong. I will own it. I will eat it, whatever, okay? I just want to put that on tape, right? Which I have before, so it's not that big of a deal. I've said that before. I'm not one of these people that thinks that I have to be right on everything. But I don't believe J.D. Vance was the best pick. And I've said this in the previous videos. I was waiting to make this video. Typically, I record my videos in the morning, full disclosure. So when stuff happens in the afternoon, I typically don't touch on it until the next day, which some of you have probably figured out by now. But I've literally been waiting on this video because people have asked, Hey, make a VP pick video. Goodness gracious, I couldn't say that. And I was like, no, I'm gonna wait until Trump actually makes his announcement. I'm gonna wait. just want to show you guys this video really quickly. And I'll give my thoughts after. Stick around, because I've got some other things to say that may change your mind. Check this out.
I'm a never Trump guy. I never liked.
I just think that it's important that you're judged by the company you keep, and You just wouldn't do business with him? No, I wouldn't.
What we are dealing with here, my friends, is a con artist. He is a con artist. Friends, do not let friends vote for con artists.
Vance, in his own words.
I'm a never Trump guy. I never liked him. As somebody who doesn't like Trump, I might have to hold my nose and vote for Hillary Clinton. I didn't vote for Trump because I can't stomach Trump. I think that he's noxious, him being really outrageous and offensive.
On Twitter, Vance called Trump, quote, reprehensible, an idiot, and Vance loves Mitt Romney.
I'm a never Trump guy.
That's the real J.D. Vance. Club for...
And if you think, as I do, that Donald Trump doesn't necessarily have a good message either, that's maybe not the best approach to politics. It's not how you win these folks over. And if you're worried about them being racist now, when you push them away and push them to somebody like Trump, you're only going to make the problem worse.
So what is the way to win them?
Probably easier than it's ever been to cloister yourself in your own little information network.
So let me ask you, I take it you're not a Trump supporter from what I've read. Am I right? Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah.
But so...
There's this question of the alternative, right? I didn't vote for Trump. I am hopeful, like I think most Americans, that he'll be successful because his success is now the country's success. But I didn't vote for Hillary either. And so there's this issue where even for me, as problematic as I saw a lot of Trump's rhetoric and his ideas on how to fix some of these problems, and my worry with Trump and one of the complaints that I raised during the campaign is that political rhetoric actually really matters. But when we start having conversations, for example, about a Muslim ban, which thankfully President Trump retracted later on in the campaign, but as soon as he talked about a Muslim ban, all of a sudden a lot of voters actually supported the idea of a Muslim ban. I just don't think that's surprising because, again, people follow the rhetoric of their politicians. And so I did worry about that. I continue to worry about that. And that, to me, is a much bigger driver than a sort of inherent, I really hate these marginalized groups who are sort of to blame for my problems in one way or the other. At the heart of Trump's immigration message is that if we had less immigration, we would have much better jobs. I think it's a lot more complicated than that. My own sense is that Trump definitely simplifies these problems. I don't think if you build a great Mexican wall, all of a sudden all of these steel mill jobs are going to come back to Southern Ohio, but it at least gives people something to latch onto. They're looking for an explanation for why their communities are struggling in a lot of ways. And Trump gives them a reason, even if it's not the right reason. It's not that surprising that people are attracted to it.
So that is J.D. Vance right there. He said he's a never Trump guy. And you know, him saying that, I will admit, it's not the end all be all. Because I'm sure there's a lot of conversations that people that know me personally can pull from and say, hey, I wasn't a Trump guy just a few years ago. So I do want to acknowledge that people can change. I am a living, breathing example of it right here. Okay? I want to put that on Front Street. So I'm not necessarily completely criticizing J.D. Vance for just simply his previous comments, okay? Because I have probably said some terrible things about Republicans and Donald Trump. And I've owned that. I've owned it. Y'all know that. I used to be a staunch Democrat, right? Not necessarily, oh, yeah, I'm going to go support Democrats, but like, if I absolutely had to vote just a few years ago, it would have been for a Democrat. 100%. 100%. And y'all know that. I've made no secret of that. I've documented this entire journey. So I want to make that clear. Okay? But in terms of a VP pick, my pick just wasn't J.D. Vance. My pick for VP was this gentleman right here.
Well, it is, and I think it's the right path because, look, we have major disagreements in politics. We know this. but it can't go to that level. It cannot go to where now people are being targeted for assassination, where you have violence between citizens. We're allowed to have disagreements as part of the American way. We have disagreements as families. We have disagreements in businesses, in politics, obviously. But when something like this happens, it requires you to reassess. The president has done that. Unity is going to be our message this week, and not just this week, for the rest of this campaign and going forward in our country. Because at the end of the day, no matter how much we might disagree vehemently on these issues, we are all Americans. We're one country.
That's my VP pick. And a lot of you have agreed, because I've said his name several times in videos. Like, I've made it no secret. And I'll tell you why Byron Donalds is my VP pick, because I feel like I have to back it up, which I always do. Excuse me. Byron Donalds, to me, in terms of personality, in terms of just sheer presence, Byron Donalds is the closest thing to Donald Trump. Byron. If you ask the average American citizen, who would you pick? jdvance or Byron? And you showed them videos of both of them? I feel like the average American citizen, just the average, not like super political, not somebody who's plugged in, you know, the whole nine. The average American citizen would look at Byron and say, actually, I like that guy. And let me say this also. This has nothing to do with race. For those that are going to bring race into it, whatever. Obviously, one guy is black, another guy is white. That's obvious, okay? Like, we can't avoid that. That just is what it is. That's how God made them. We can't change that. That is what it is. And I do want to acknowledge, maybe I'm wrong. But I see Byron as the closest thing to Trump. Like a no-nonsense, take no crap, I'm going to give it to you straight, no chaser type of guy. Him and Larry Elder. Those are the two people. Him and Larry Elder. As a matter of fact,
have you ever heard of the term nigga wake up call?
And insult you, a black man, and tell you you got to think a certain kind of way. I'm amazed that you weren't mad about that.
I'm not gonna say it upset me, just like I'm not letting you upset me. You know what I mean? I don't tend to get upset over things like that. But what I did say,
well, you just not talk about a nigger wake up call, and it seemed to me that should have been a wake up call on your part to have a white guy come in here who also said, by the way, about Mitt Romney. Because he didn't want to put more regulations on Wall Street, going to put y'all back in chains. And Joe Biden has lied for decades about his civil rights record, claiming that he desegregated movie theaters and restaurants in Wilmington, Delaware, when he didn't do any of that. He lied and said that he tried to visit Nelson Mandela during apartheid South Africa. He did not. And he came in here and told you aren't even black unless you think a certain kind of way. It seems.
That's another guy that I feel like should have been a VP. Larry Elder, who is older. I believe he's like 5 or 6 years younger than Trump. So he's up there in age. But he's one of those guys, like Trump, who doesn't show their age. And I've said this time and time again. It's not the age itself. It's how you show it. Right? It's how you show it. And there's no issue with actually showing your age. There's no problem with that. Growing to an old age is a beautiful thing. There's a lot of people that will not and have not gotten that opportunity. We all know them. We all do. I know some people that won't live till 30. Or I should say that didn't live until 30 because they're gone. Right? So growing old is a beautiful thing. It's a privilege. You should be thankful for that. But when you're the leader of the free world and you're showing your age, that's a problem. Larry Elder, like I said, Larry Elder is like 5 or 6 years younger than Trump. He's not much younger than Trump is. And Trump, I believe, is 78 or 79, I believe. He's not quite 80 yet, but he's close. So Larry Elder is like early 70s. So Is he old? Sure. Is that a problem? No, not at all, in my humble opinion. So I see Larry Elder as a great VP pick. I saw him as a great VP pick. Now, I will say this. After saying all of that, I will say this. Am I disappointed in Trump's VP pick? Yes, I am. You can like it, love it, or hate it. I'm not the type of guy that's going to tell you what you want to hear simply for views or clicks. I'm going to give it to you straight, no chaser. You know what I mean? Like that. You can go to mainstream media to tell you what you want to hear. Whatever news station that, spews out whatever type of rhetoric you like to hear, you can go to them to tell you exactly what you want to hear. When you come here, you're going to get it straight, no chaser. Whether you like it, love it, or hate it, we're allowed to disagree. It's a beautiful thing in this country. One of the things that I love about this country. It's why I'm proud to be an American in this country. Am I disappointed? Yeah. Am I going to trust Trump in his decision? You bet your bottom dollar I am. Okay? So for those of you that stuck around, because I'm sure there were probably just a few that was like, oh, no, like, I'm going to get out of here. For those of you that stuck around, am I going to trust his decision? Absolutely. You know why? There are several reasons why. One, I've watched Trump be a different individual this campaign, this time around. And I've talked about that several times in several different videos. This is like a Trump 2.0. This is a different type of guy. Completely different type of guy. Okay? This is a gentleman who is very strategic, who is very aware of what is going on and what is happening around him. Whereas the first time, I feel like he wasn't so aware. He was too new. He didn't know the ins and outs of everything. He does now. Number two. Just because J.D. Vance said those things before doesn't mean he couldn't have changed his mind by now. And I acknowledge that. Because if I didn't, I would be an absolute hypocrite. And that is one thing I will not be. Okay? Because I was once in J.D. Vance's shoes. As a matter of fact, I was further left than he was in terms of him saying, oh, no, I'm a never Trumper, which you guys heard the clip. I was a never Republican. I wasn't even a Republican, let alone never Trumper. Like, I was further left than that. And obviously, I'm one of the biggest Trump supporters that are out there. I'm not going to say I'm the biggest guy ever, okay? But come November, you know who I'm supporting through and through. Like, it's not even a question. It's not even a debate, okay? So I do acknowledge that people can change because I've done it my darn self. I've documented the entire journey. That's the reason why a lot of you are probably here. Because you watched the entire journey. You saw the transformation. You saw it happening. A lot of you were really helpful in informing me on what was actually happening and what was going on and giving me the right information that I needed to, see and hear, telling me to check out this debate between, a Republican and a Democrat, or check out this debate between a Democrat and a Republican or whatever. Like, you guys were extremely helpful in that. So I am very aware that people can change. But I don't know, man. There's something about J.D. Vance, and I'll end it with this and we'll get out of here. There's a slight bit of me that's like a cause to pause. I don't know what it is. I couldn't tell you. But there's something that gives me a slight cause to pause. Not quite to the level of DeSantis that I had with DeSantis, and you guys can go back and look at those videos from a long time ago. I said the exact same thing, just with more vigor, with Ron DeSantis. I was like, bro, there's something off about this guy. I can't tell you exactly what it is, but something just doesn't feel right in my spirit with this guy. Great governor. But as a president, as a Republican, and I emphasize Republican, as a Republican president, something doesn't sit right in my spirit with this guy. And of course, over time, we figured out what that was. We saw Ron DeSantis, he's not the guy to be the president. Great governor, run Florida, he runs Florida very well. But in terms of being a Republican president, not even close. Not even in the ballpark. And part of me gets the same feeling with JD just not as extreme. Okay, I want to acknowledge that, not as extreme. If Ron DeSantis, on a scale from 1 to 10, I'm just trying to, just so you guys can get a picture of what I'm feeling here. If Ron DeSantis was a solid 7 or an 8 on like, hey, something about this guy feels off, right? Like I was on it. You can go back. I didn't delete them. They're still on the channel. You can go back and watch them. Y'all know this. What I don't just talk out of the side of my neck. If Ron DeSantis was a solid 7 or an 8, JD Vance is probably a 2 or a 3. So not as extreme, right? But that feeling is just still barely there, where it's like, I don't quite know about this guy. Like, there's just something that's just like, I'm going to trust you though, Trump. I'm going to trust you. Because I'm damn sure not trusting that other guy, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. We saw what they did and what they have done. So I'm going to trust you because I've watched Trump be a Trump 2.0 this second time around and be very strategic in his moves, in his tactics, and what he said and what he's done, and the policies that he plans on implementing, and the people that he plans on putting in certain positions. I'm super excited for that. It's just the VP pick that I'm just right there. Cause to pause. But as always, y'all let me know your thoughts, your opinions, and if you agree or not. It's all right if you disagree. I could be wrong. Talk to me. Y'all stay safe out there. Peace and love. I'm out.